From abandoned ships on the open ocean to mysterious monuments with undeciphered languages, here are some of the strangest mysteries the world has ever seen. Number 13.
The location of Cleopatra's tomb. Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, died in 30 BCE. Following her death, the location of her tomb has remained elusive. Unlike other famous pharaohs whose tombs were described in historical records such as Tutankhamun or Ramses II, there are no surviving ancient accounts or inscriptions that definitively pinpoint the location of Cleopatra's tomb. Theories suggest she could be buried under the modern city of Alexandria, interned with former lover Mark Antony. And, that's Julius Caesar's Mark Antony, for those not in the know. But some researchers have set their sights on Osiris Magna, the location of a temple dedicated to Osiris, the Egyptian ruler of the realm of the dead, near Alexandria's western outskirts. Ground-penetrating radar and other non-invasive technologies offer hope that her tomb may be found eventually.
Number 12.
The Mer Celest was a brigantine that was spotted sailing erratically in the Atlantic Ocean by the crew of the Black Dahlia on December 4th, 1832. The crew of the vessel was nowhere to be found, and one lifeboat was missing for some reason. The ship was found to be in good condition, with a plethora of food and water on board. The ship's logbook provided the last entry on 24th November near the Azores, but no trace of the crew was ever seen again.
Number 11. The Salish Sea Feet Mystery. So, if you type the phrase Salish Sea into Google's search field, the autocomplete feature assumes you're going to ask it about all those feet. Starting around 2007, severed feet started washing up on beaches all around the US and Canada, and people are rightfully pretty freaked out about it. Even stranger, the severed feet are tucked into shoes. Unfortunately, one shoe probably won't sell for much, so it's not a reliable side hustle, but it's worth a try. The mystery isn't as much of a mystery if you really add some basic deduction to it though. Like, a lot of people live on the beach in coastal areas, and people die for all sorts of reasons. The bodies float out to sea and eventually sink, where their soft tissue is eaten by bottom feeders like crabs or lobsters or my ex-girlfriend. The tissues around your lower leg are pretty much all soft tissue, so when they finish munching, the buoyancy of the shoe picks up the foot and carries it out to sea. So not as mysterious as it is flat out gross, but if you find one, put it up for auction on eBay and give us 50% for coming up with the idea. Number 10.
The Voyage Manuscript is a mysterious, undeciphered text believed to have been written in the early 15th century. Named after Wilfrid Voynich, who acquired it in 1912, this codex is filled with botanical illustrations, astronomical diagrams, and strange texts, sparking theories about its origin and purpose. Despite efforts by historians, linguists, and cryptographers, its meaning remains elusive, adding to its allure and mystique. The manuscript sits at the Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library, so if you're ever in Connecticut, go check out this fascinating piece of history. I specifically wanted to talk about this part because there's a game for the PlayStation 2 called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelists of the Roses that, in the epilogue of that game, it alludes to the Voynich manuscript having been written by ancient Yu-Gi-Oh! Players to tell of the protagonist of the game's triumph over evil. Yeah.
Number 9.
Located in Wiltshire, England, Stonehenge continues to be one of the most fascinating pieces of history. Originally constructed in several phases starting around 3000 BCE, and the stone circle was completed around 2000 BCE. The monument is thought to be a ceremonial or religious site, but human remains found inside the structure lead archaeologists to other theories. The stones are aligned with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice, suggesting it may have functioned as an ancient calendar or observatory. In August 1971, a group of hippies mysteriously vanished without a trace during a lightning storm while camping on the historic site. So, you can come to a variety of conclusions, but that's just, your opinion, man.
Number 8. The Shugborough inscription. So in Staffordshire, England, there's this strange monument that's inscribed with the letters DOUSVAVM, a code possibly left by the Knights Templar. The Shepherd's Monument, as it's nicknamed, was commissioned by Thomas Anson somewhere between 1748 and 1763, so we're not exactly sure on the details. The monument consists of a painting of Nicholas Poussin's The Shepherds of Arcadia, depicting a woman and 3 shepherds, with the shepherds pointing towards a famous gravesite. Great minds have tried to crack the code, including Charles Dickens and Charles Darwin, but to this day they've come up with nothing. So, history 1, scientists 0. Number 7.
The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, John White and his group of British settlers landed on Roanoke Island, now known as the Outer Banks of North Carolina. White left for more supplies, but on his return 3 years later, he found the colony meticulously abandoned, with all houses and fortifications dismantled with care. Before he'd left the colony, White instructed the colonists that if they were taken by force, they were to carve a cross into a nearby tree, but upon his return, no cross was ever found. The only clue was the word Croatoan carved into a post. White took this to mean that the colonists had moved to Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island, but no trace of any of the colonists were ever seen again.
Number 6.
The Black Dahlia is the name given to Elizabeth Short, an American woman who was murdered in Los Angeles in 1947. Short's body was discovered in a vacant lot. Her body had been cut in half, and all of her blood had been drained. The case remains open to this day, and the murderer has never been caught. Lastly, the story is also a 2006 film directed by Brian De Palma and starring Academy Award winner Scarlett Johansson.
Number 5. The Lost City of Atlantis. A legendary island civilization described by Plato in his early works. It was allegedly located near the Pillars of Hercules in modern-day Morocco. The city is large enough that it would most certainly appear on sonar maps of the ocean floor. The legend goes that the city was sunk into the sea during a war with ancient Athens. Scholars believe the text is an allegory for unchecked imperialism, but no one can verify anything for sure. Number 4.
The Bermuda Triangle. Just like the fabled city of Atlantis, the Bermuda Triangle is located in the North Atlantic Ocean and is the center of some of the strangest unsolved occurrences in recorded history. Planes, boats, as well as countless civilians and soldiers have vanished without a trace. Scientists and scholars alike argue that the number of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle is no greater than in other heavily traveled regions of the ocean. In 1945, a group of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers disappeared in the area during a routine training flight, giving rise to the legend of what is now known as the Bermuda Triangle. Just a reminder to never trust the ocean.
Number 3.
Area 51 is a highly classified U.S. military training facility located in the Nevada desert, about 85 miles north of Las Vegas. Built during the Cold War, the site has become synonymous with alien cover-ups and conspiracies. In 2013, the United States government publicly acknowledged the existence of Area 51, but omitted anything about aliens or high-profile cover-ups. The admission of the facility's existence only further fueled pop culture and the theories surrounding it. In 2019, a Facebook page emerged with the idea to storm Area 51, and on September 20th, 2019, the plan was carried out. Surprisingly, the plan went off without a hitch, but they still never got to hang out with aliens. Swing and a miss.
Number 2. In the deserts of southern Peru, there exists a series of large geoglyphs created somewhere around 200 BCE to 700 CE. The geoglyphs span over 1,200 feet in length and have possible connections to extraterrestrial visitors or religious figures. The lines themselves were made by cutting shallow incisions in the desert floor, removing pebbles and leaving different colored dirt exposed. In modern times, more lines have been found using drone technology, but archaeologists believe there are even more out there that we've yet to find. While you can only truly experience the lines from the air, you could hike up a nearby mountain or foothill to experience this world wonder. Number 1.
The Pyramids of Giza, located on the Giza Plateau near Cairo, Egypt, are among the most iconic and mysterious structures in the world. They were built during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Egypt around 4,500 years ago, circa 2,580 to 2,560 BCE, and remain one of the greatest architectural feats in human history. The pyramid stands at 146.6 meters tall and was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. The Great Pyramids are the only remaining 7 wonders of the world and stand as a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, right here on A Bad Dream.